I just liked what I saw. There were some guitars that had like repurposed old wood, and the shape seemed, based in classic guitar design. So I was curious just aesthetically, what he had going on. We were doing rehearsals for the last record, like clockwork, and he came by with like 4 or 5 guitars, and they were all different. And you can tell that they were handmade, and each one of them had certain characteristics that were just made each one of them individual. So I knew he was a real craftsman. The one that I'm really using a lot these days is called the De Leon, and it's something that we kind of came up with together. I mean, it's one of his designs that, working within his framework of stuff that he already has that I dig, was able to just come up with something really simple. It wasn't very much my involvement. It was just us kind of working together to get something that I liked. If you're talking about the way you used to do, there's 3 guitars in that song. So we didn't want to go for a big giant thing. All the sonics had to work together guitar-wise. There's some things that interweave, and there's some things that harmonize. Actually, part of the guitars we wanted to sound like horns. So there's 2 6 strings and there's a 12 string. I'm playing the 12 string, so there's a lot going on. And I know that we definitely didn't want to go for giant frequency hog guitar sounds. We kind of pre-mixed it that way, so we wouldn't have a nightmare in the mixing situation. With Mark, he was really key on helping us, clear things out, to make the record sound big on a whole. Like, the parts build up to something rather than, if you just listen to the guitar parts, they're specifically in a frequency zone that is like, that fits there and that pokes out in the right spot. So it was a real cool experience to approach things that way, because we had the songs already, and most of the time we were working on making sure that the sonics of the record were, up and above anything we've ever done. There was a lot of direct guitars. To be honest, that's kind of the best way to have 3 guitars in one band, it has to be, everyone has to have their zone, so that was helpful. If you give way to the bass, the bass and the guitar, combination, they both sound big because they're out of the way of each other. So yeah, if you have just a giant blasting 100-watt Marshall with the bass cranked, it's going to cloud up everything. There's something to be said about, there's a lot of like single coil guitars on this record, We like the classics, we like Neve, we like API. It depends on what, Neve for drums, APIs for guitars. We like to use, stuff that's got character.